Hello and welcome everybody to a brand new episode of r/MaliciousCompliance. My name's Ryan, the official host here on Reddit Voice, and I look forward to bringing you guys today's top stories. Before I do, I'd really appreciate it though if you'd hit that subscribe button as well as make sure you got notifications turned on. That way you could stay up to date with all the latest and the greatest. Intact Burrito presents You Really Don't Want Me to Open This Bag. I'm a broke college student, not the I spend all my money on DoorDash and weed so I don't have enough money to go out with friends kind of broke, but rather the I once ate a piece of cheesecake that I found on the side of the road because I was hungry kind of broke. Anyhow, I have managed to find a way to swindle a certain convenience store to unwittingly give me coupons I could use to get free food every now and then. I had worked there before, so I knew how to take advantage of their coupon system as much as they had taken advantage of me while I worked there. Well, one day, I had gotten $11 in coupons, which I was very excited to use to buy myself some groceries. Now, convenience stores are great, but when it comes to groceries, well, they aren't grocery stores, so options are a bit limited. Of course, for me, it's free, so I'm not complaining. So I'm walking up and down the aisles looking for something slightly nutritious so that I can eat real food and not get that groggy, I've been eating nothing but peanut butter and bread for the last week type of feeling. You know the one. After grabbing some peanut butter and bread, a stack of pink catches my eye. My heart drops. Could it be? Do they have meat? My leg pulls me over to the meat stack faster than I can process this miracle, and I'm suddenly face to face with a giant stack of packaged salami. Finally, some good fucking food. I grab myself a pack of salami, and it becomes my new best friend. I imagine our life together, the sandwiches, the snacks, and best of all, the satisfaction of having a real meal. I put the peanut butter back and exchange it for some mayonnaise and mustard. Peanut butter had gotten me through some hard times, but sometimes you just gotta upgrade. Sorry, old pal, Papa needs some meat. I go head out to the checkout stand with my salami, beaming like a maniac. After getting home, I'm ecstatic about the meat, and I immediately unwrap the salami. As soon as I begin peeling it, I realize my mistake. Instantly, the wrath of Genghis Khan charges directly from the meat to my nostrils, with a weaponized stench that pulls my stomach. This is no salami. This is a foul, vile monster. I try to reseal the salami to contain its stench, but it's too powerful. The salami refuses to be contained. Panicked, I scour the house for anything I can find to vanquish this terrible monster that is let loose in my house. I happen across a freezer bag, to which I throw the salami.
This displeases the salami.
Furious, the salami begins planning its revenge. The freezer bag contains the stench for now, so I place it in the fridge to return to the store for the next day. My thinking is that the freezer bag will subdue the salami until the next day. But I'm a fool, a jester, and a clown. Overnight, the salami rebuilds its arsenal. The night passes, and I'm ready to rid myself of this foul demon. I open the fridge. The most putrid, insulting, horrific smell rips its way out of the fridge, grabbing me by the nose, tearing it clean off. The taste of salt fills my mouth, and I'm unsure if it's from the salami or the tears streaming down my face. I rush to grab another new freezer bag and contain the salami as best I can. The signature stench of the salami has now filled the room. It's not gonna go away on its own. So I open a window and head back to the convenience store with salami in one hand and a receipt in the other. I arrive and make my way to the cashier. As usual, I look malnourished and have baggy clothing, making me a suspicious customer. I go to send the salami back from whence it came, but the cashier has suspicions of my return. Of course. So, why exactly are you returning this, sir? Please don't make me open the bag. This displeased salami becomes eager. It smells really bad. I'd open the bag, but I really don't think it's a good idea. Please don't make me open the bag. The salami knows what's about to happen. Sir, I can't do the refund if it's in this bag. You need to take it out to return it. You're making a mistake. The salami is preparing to strike. I put it in a clear bag so you could scan the barcode through the bag. Trust me, you really don't want me to open this. Please, for the love of all things holy, don't make me release this monster. The salami is now foaming at the mouth. Sir, I can't do the return without you opening the bag. Either open the bag or take it home. I can't refund your money if it's in a bag. I worked at this chain for 3 years and it has never been a policy. I don't know why you would make that up other than to somehow catch me in the act, but please, just trust me. The salami suddenly goes silent. It is ready. Are you sure? Yes. It's our policy. No, it's not, but if you insist, then very well. Don't say I didn't warn you. I barely crack open the freezer bags, and the salami, furious, bursts out with a stench so sour that even the Karen in line behind me pulls her mask over her nose. The cashier begins coughing as I pull the salami out of the bag. She apologizes profusely about the foul-smelling meat and scans the beast before issuing me $5.99 in store coupons. I take the bag with me, leaving no line of defense between the cashier and the salami. You said you can't accept bags, right? Well, I guess I'll just keep these bags then. She tries using a store bag to contain the salami, but to no avail, as the store bags aren't airtight. You didn't want my bags, so now you can have fun working next to the salami until the line dies down. I grab 2 jars of peanut butter and buy them with the coupon, then head back home to have me some peanut butter and bread. Should've just stuck with old Reliable. Brave Field presents Send It Exactly Like This. As part of my job working in complaints, I write letters to customers. We don't use templates, and each letter is tailored to the individual. Sometimes customers raise multiple complaint points, and each point is carefully addressed in the letter we send. We outline everything and the customer is unhappy with, our full investigation, and what we're doing to put this right. Or alternatively, explaining carefully why their complaint is not justified. A new manager, Steve, was hired a few months ago, and he decided we were wasting too much time writing letters, and he was going to come up with a template for us to use as we're obviously too simple to understand how letters are meant to work. So he goes off and drafts a template and proudly shares it with us all. It was shit, to put it bluntly. It was full of typos and grammatical errors, but it also didn't contain details of what the complaint was or about how we resolved it. Of course, this was pointed out to him in full why it was not appropriate and why it would lead to more complaints and how it's basically terrible customer service. He lost his temper and screamed and yelled until 3 separate people cried and 2 logged out of the virtual meeting. Afterwards, he sent an email saying he wants his letter used exactly as he's attached it. Who am I to argue? I sent the letters exactly as he had written them, copied and pasted to ensure nothing was changed, exactly as he asked, right down to his signature and contact details at the bottom of the letter. I told the rest of the team, and they're all sending letters with Steve's details too. Within the first week, he had 40 customers call him and email complaining about the letter we had sent. The week after, 50 irate customers. Steve hasn't looked into the complaints, so he doesn't know how to address any of the customers or understand their issues. So I get phone calls day in and day out. This man's livid. What was his complaint about? Each time I reply, oh, it should all be explained in the letter I sent. You know, the one detailing all complaint points. My investigation and resolution in full. I would just check that. Bye. The whole department is now under investigation as customer satisfaction is tanked. Best bit is each and every dissatisfaction is scored against Steve. Every other member of the staff has 100% satisfaction, as nothing's logged against us. Our name isn't even on the letter. Steve is on 0%. It's a terrible shame. Edit. Goodness me, this blew up. Thank you. Hopefully Steve will get fired soon. We work in complaints, and we're pretty thick-skinned. To make 3 staff actually cry takes some serious work. He's vile. I'll provide an update if management ever gets their act together enough to listen to our concerns. I do feel bad for the customers involved, though. The customers that are complaining about the letter don't know that their complaint is upheld and that I've sent them compensation or flowers. They would normally get a letter apologizing deeply, explaining what went wrong and how we'll resolve it going forward. These customers are normally absolute dreams, and the only time they come back to us is to thank us. I have never, in all my days, sent someone a check and a nice letter and had them phoning to yell at me. Poor deluded Steve. LJRDXYH presents, so you'll close my account if I don't pay higher interest rates. Okay, so this was back during the 2008 government mortgage crisis. Had a great credit, great job, and multiple credit cards I used to manage different properties I owned. A personal card, gas cards, etc. One day, I get a letter from the credit card company that rhymes with Apple Pank, saying that they were unilaterally raising my rates from 13.99% annually to 27% annually. If I wanted to keep my credit card, something many people did during the crisis, I had to agree to the new rate. Otherwise, they'd close my account. I'd not be able to make any more changes on the card, and I'd have to continue making monthly payments at my current interest rate until the card was paid off. Of course, I had done nothing wrong credit-wise to deserve this treatment from my credit card company, almost doubling my interest rates, so I called their service line. After being on hold for over 2 hours, I finally got to speak to a CSR, and after not getting anywhere with her, I had to hold for another 30 minutes to talk to her supervisor. I was basically told, very rudely, that I could either accept the new rate or choose to close my account. Those were my only two options. Incensed, I said, "Fine, close it." And they did. What they didn't know was that a week prior, I had transferred all the balances from my other cards, over $22,000, to their card without paying a transfer fee and at a promotional rate of 1.9% for 1 year. But because of the law at the time, they could only charge me at a rate of 1.9% until the loan was paid. Here is the malicious compliance part. Here I am, 13 years later, paying the absolute minimum payment I'm required to make each month. Since never missing a payment and never paying late, since otherwise the default rate of 27% would kick in, the inflation rate during these years has been well over the 1.9% interest I pay. It's like free money. I paid off every other creditor I had with the money I saved, and I don't even use credit cards anymore as I've been able to save enough to live on a cash-only basis. They've tried multiple times to get me to reactivate the card or to transfer the balance to another super-duper account with lots of benefits for me, like paying a much higher interest rate, without success. The only thing I lament is that all good things must come to an end, as my balance is now down to 1,000 or less, but at least it will last another couple years. P.S. Young folks, I lucked out. I would have been up a creek otherwise. If you don't have a credit card debt now, avoid it like the plague. It's okay to get a card. You need it for many things in today's world. Just pay it off every month. Update. Had a lot of similar questions, so I'm addressing them below. How is it free money? A lot of comments about me still paying interest to Apple Pank. Correct, I do, but this is how it plays out. Instead of sending them a $1,000 payment to avoid $19 in interest a year, what I do is invest those same $1,000 where I can get a much higher return, say 9.9%, and at the end of the year I have $99 I've earned. I take $19 to pay the interest I owe Apple Pank and keep $80 for myself. Now multiply that times 22K and 13 years. Yes, I oversimplified for illustration purposes, as I still have to pay some of the principal off, pay taxes, etc. And yes, I've consistently had a return above 10% of my investments, so the model holds. Inflation is not well above 1.9%. If you're a Keynesian, probably not. But inflation is not a rise in prices. It's a shift in the demand and supply of money, which ultimately shows up in consumer goods. This is where folks first see inflation and make the association that a rise in prices is inflation, but it's not. In addition, most media report on the CPI as if it were a measure of inflation, so folks accept those claims at face value and further believe a rise in prices is inflation. The CPI calculation is a secret, manipulated, and has changed over 20 times in the past. Why? Most entitlements are CPI-based, so a rise in CPI means higher cost for governments, therefore they try to keep the measure low. Ask anyone that depends on entitlements, and their annual CPI adjustment keeps up with their expenses. I don't care if Apple Pank knows I exist or not, or cares or not. I care and am having fun with this. I don't know what law made them keep the 1.9%. Maybe some enlightened Redditor has the answer. I found out about them freezing the rate in the confirmation letter they sent me. They mentioned a law somewhere, but I don't remember what it was. Consumer protection, maybe? And there you have it, folks. The end of the epics. If you like these videos, be sure to leave a like as well as subscribe. That way you could stay up to date with everything we have here on the channel. As always, my name is Ryan, and I'm the official host here on Reddit Voice. It's been an absolute honor, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.